here's a question from class. How well does Scrum work for non-technical projects? You see it used in software and IT work all the time, but leaving that domain aside, how well does Scrum work?
So I heard a rumor that people are using Scrum in education, like to teach your kids. And I wasn't there, I didn't see it happen, but it got me thinking, like, how could you use Scrum in education? Like, I'm a teacher, I've got a bunch of kindergartners, and I'm going to try to use Scrum to get better results. And what are those better results? Johnny, Susie, and Ralph all passed kindergarten, get to go on to first grade, and have learned what they needed to learn by that point. So I would consider human beings pretty darn complex. And Scrum is designed to deal with complexity and manage risk. So complexity kind of being defined as we have more unknowns than knowns. And so I've got a bunch of kids in the classroom. I got a whole semester with them. A lot of things can go wrong here. So let's start off with our first sprint goal, just a week worth of work. Can I get these kids to learn 10 new vocabulary words? And so throughout that week, I might try a new lesson every day. I might try a few words, try some examples, see what resonates with some, what resonates with others. And then at the end of the week, maybe we have a little quiz to see who knows those words. That's not only a quiz to see how well they're progressing, but how well I'm teaching. And so we're inspecting and adapting this process of education week by week, every 2 weeks, whatever you want to set your sprint length to be, with a product goal being they're all at a certain competency level by the end of a semester. So, I mean, without getting into all the nuts and bolts, I totally think Scrum would work in a non-technical project such as educating kids.
Okay. Greg, any thoughts?
Yeah, it's about complex problems and not to just go generic word spam here, but where there's complexity and where there are problems to solve, aka too many unknowns, I think Scrum can be a really good fit. So my sister and I happened to use Scrum to help transition my parents from their residence to assisted living. I'll just refer to that. And there was a lot of work that went into it. It wasn't just task-based. There was a lot of unknowns. And it was the first time that my sister had been introduced to the idea of Scrum. And I said, hey, do you want to do this thing? And so I showed her, and she goes, this could really help us be able to know what's needed and change direction as we learn new stuff. I'm like, well said. If you could give the benefit of Scrum in a nutshell, that's it. And so we were able to utilize Scrum. We just did 1 week sprints because we wanted to minimize risk and help with our decision process. But we did 1 week sprints, and we found it to be pretty doggone effective. So Scrum can work just about in any environment where there's unknowns.
Yeah, I like that. I was just teaching a class yesterday, and somebody asked about, could you use Scrum to plan a wedding? I've planned or participated in wedding planning once in my life, and hope that to be the case for the rest of my life, only once. And so, I thought about it, and it's like, okay, let's play this out as a thought experiment. The wedding plan is your product, right? And so sprint 1, like, we need just the basics. What are the absolute essentials that we need to have in this wedding plan, right? Where's it going to happen? Bride, groom, someone to conduct the ceremony, right? So maybe our sprint goal is to have those basics planned. And then maybe the next sprint is, okay, we probably want to eat something while we're there. So let's have a catering plan added to that plan, and you're incrementally building up these plans, and things can change, right? You find out from the caterer, oops, turns out we can't do that date after all, or suddenly half the guests aren't able to show, or whatever. But you have this adaptability, and you have this sort of document and plan this event that you're incrementally building up towards. So I think it could work really well. And to both of your points, I think when you have complex problems that you need a high degree of adaptability, even outside of tech, I think Scrum can really help you navigate those complex waters. Click the thumbs up to let us know you like the video. Subscribe if you'd like more of our videos in your feed, and maybe even hit that bell to get notified when we've got more videos for you.
Sometimes YouTube notifications don't actually go out and you won't be notified. So we've solved this problem. Click the link in the description to join our exclusive mailing list so we can send you an email every time one of our newest videos comes out. You'll be glad you did.